All right, before we get to the final magazine crit, a couple things here, and I'm sure a lot of people have forgotten to do this, and that's to put the printer marks on here. So I want to show you how to do that again. And the reality is, I just want you to know where these are. Um, and in Illustrator, the way you would do that, let me try and grab this and put it over here. And this, really? You're going to do it one by one? Okay. All right. Oh, and even that. All right. When you go to save your um, magazine layout to turn it in, what you want to do is come up here and do save as, and we want to save it in the Adobe PDF um, format here. When you get to this screen, a couple things. I always check this, view PDF after saving. It'll give you a chance to give it a once over before you upload it, and you can maybe see if there's any problems that you need to fix beforehand. On the presets up here, for this class, you can do either Illustrator default or press quality. The other options you have here, where did my other options go? There are some standards that different printers use. And you can see the numbers here, PDFX 1A, 3, 4. Have no idea what happened to PDFX, PDFX 2. Most printers don't really call these out anymore. I have turned in a lot of projects in the PDF X1 and 1A. I think once in my career I've had to do something in 3. I have never in all my career been asked to do the PDFX 4 in here. Um, so you can do press quality here. Check view at PDF after saving. Where you put the printer marks on is over here where it says marks and bleeds. Now, here's the thing, and I'll show you the printer marks here, and I do want you to put them on. For most commercial printers, if you're sending something to print, the only thing they really, really want is to make sure you include the bleed. That's that little extra eighth of an inch that you have for backgrounds or images that touch any of the edges here. For this assignment, though, I want you to put all these printer marks on here. And then when you hit save, it should pop up and show me my file here. And most times printers will actually, wow, come on. All right. This is not my day today. Usually if you hold the space bar down, you get the little hand so you can move around. I guess not today. Anyhow, looking around the top here, these are registration marks because your artwork's going to be uh, divided up into a separate plate for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and this makes sure they line up. It's got the title up here of your file, and then I don't even have. All right, I can't even scroll here. So let's see where my. All right, do it manually here, and then I'll drop out of it here. Let's see. So it will put the printer marks on here. And as you go to the edge here, again, the crop marks show you where this will trim out. There you can see that little extra eighth of an inch of your bleed, so that even if trimming out is a little bit off, I'll still have image touching the edge of the page on here. What you'll have on here too are the two color spaces we work with, RGB and the CMYK. And the reason these are on here, if they run some test prints and the color looks off, what they will do is they will first look over here, and if the magenta is looking too red, or maybe the yellow is going a little green, then they can tell which plate is having the problem on here. And then if you go to the very bottom down here, there's a black to white grayscale. Same thing here. This should have no color in it. So if the grays start looking a little pinkish or a little bluish, then they will have an idea of where the problem lies in here. So, like I said, for most commercial printers, they will want that bleed setting checked, but they won't necessarily want you to put all the other marks on here. So that's to start. Let's talk about everyone's magazine layout here. So this is what I downloaded at the beginning of class here. Let's see. Rosanna, let's see you first. All right. Since we last saw this, any changes to it?
Yeah, so I added the like the introduction to the article and I um lightened the R overlapping the photo. I did like the little lightning and
Cool.
that.
No, I think the intro helps a lot, and then it goes into this, which is great. Yeah, this turned out really nice. I told you, all the things I liked about this, the pull quote and everything, but I think this helps make it look like you're leading into a longer article on here, and that helps. Um, I'll tell you, you've got who knows what this is called, the three dots that indicate, yeah, it's called ellipses, but I'll show you if you want to really look like a professional designer. Uh, I can't spell today. Ellipses. All right. So when you're doing it, what most people do, and this is true on just about any font, unless it's one of the really decorative ones, most people just hit the period on your keyboard, dot, dot, dot. But if you want to be a professional designer, what you do is while you're in the font, if you do Option and the semicolon, and that will um, put these properly spaced. So that will show people you know what you're doing with type. So again, it's the Option key, and then you type the colon key next to the L key on your keyboard. And there you have it as one single character on here. All right. No, this looks great. Let's give Rosanna a hand here. All right. Whose is this? All right, Kennedy. So you gave me a JPEG? Okay. So we haven't had a chance to see this, so talk to us about this.
This is about the artist Murakami, the super flat guy, the guy who did like the most like popular thing he's known for is the little super flat flowers. And he did a collab with Louis Vuitton, but when I was looking at his advertisements, most of the things were like real life people advertising or being posed with like, funny imagery, flat. So I thought it'd be funny if I reversed it.
I think that's super cool. Yeah, I know he did Louis Vuitton. I just saw last week he's doing a collab with the Dodgers. So you can get like Dodger jerseys with his flowers and things on it. Comments, what do you guys think?
I like it a lot. The juxtaposition of the cartoon character with that more flat style with the bags.
Yeah, this turns great. Did you build this in Illustrator? You drew that? That's awesome.
And the flowers were also in Photoshop, just slapped it in.
So I'll tell you, because you can do the drop shadow that you have on the bag, and you can do it in Illustrator, but it's probably, if you can, better to do it in Photoshop. And I'll show you how you can do that here in a second. This turned out great. I really like it. The only thing, so tell me why the L is flying away here.
That's just silly, but I could keep it, but I know it kind of looks funny with everything else being super.
Well, here's the thing. You always want stuff to not look like a mistake. So I think that the way that you have this where it's exaggerated and flying off enough, people will realize it was a design choice on there. Um, in Illustrator, you can put a drop shadow on stuff. The thing is, it sometimes doesn't look realistic when it crosses over other um, colors in here. And I'll show you. I'm going to open yours in Photoshop in a second here. Here's the only thing I would recommend on here. I think it would be great if the only stuff that's photographic are the bags. So even I would maybe do one of his flowers, just really light back here and just replace the photographic elements. Was there a reason why you put the photographic?
Just because on the apps, they were drawn out, so I flipped it, like everything
Okay.
that was not drawn, I think drawn, everything that was drawn, it's.
All right. I totally buy that. You know, everything we do is so subjective, and usually if you can explain why you did something, then it's going to be fine. So I'm fine with it in that case on here. You could have maybe had his hand finish and break the gutter over here, but it's not a big thing on here. I think this turned out great. It's really, really nice. What I was going to show you is in Photoshop, let's see if it will let me. Well, yours is a JPEG, so it'll open. So what I'm going to do is see if I can select your bag here. Oh, it got the whole guy. Oh, it got this bag. I'll do that. So I'm going to get rid of the rest of the selection here. And I'm just going to copy the bag over here. And this is why for images, it's oftentimes better to do it in Photoshop. Because if I put this over here, let me put it over his body here. The way you can do this, and it won't affect this image at all, but when you're in your layer panel here, you have down here at the bottom, you know, where we go to make masks and everything, there is a little FX button here. And if you click on it, there's a lot of special effects you can do to this. And the one at the very bottom is called drop shadow. And this gives you a little bit more control on here. First of all, you can decide what direction you want it to go. And you can decide how far you want it to go. And this is kind of a good example of why I always suggest, you know, if you do want to go into graphic design, I really suggest taking a basic drawing class, because if you can learn how to work with light and shadow on here, and I'm looking at your bag over here, and it looks like it's the light is hitting this side, and it looks like this side is in a little bit of a shadow. So that's why I'm having the shadow go that direction. And it doesn't have to be that strong. And what you usually want to do is make sure it's on multiply. Sometimes it'll come in and it will be normal. Multiply just makes it transparent, so as it goes over the other colors, it will look more realistic in here. But I think, you know, in understanding you couldn't get Photoshop, I think you did an amazing job on here. It looks great. Yeah, let's give Kennedy a hand here. Mark, I've got you up next. Let's see.
I just changed like some of the sizes.
And you put it in disco mode. It's probably one of your images. Let me see if I zoom out. If it's, whoa, there you go.
Yeah, and then I just replaced some images so that's not all just like boxes. Then I cross it up.
Comments, what do you guys think? I think it's definitely better that you change some of the sizes on here. It just makes it a little bit more visually interesting on here. Um, the two things, your type up here is getting lost. And part of it is if I were to reduce this to black and white, I think you'll see even though the word buying is in green, it's about the same value as your background and it's kind of disappearing. Um, I think, and you don't have to do it for me, but definitely if you're starting to put a portfolio together, the first thing I would try is maybe flip it and have the type be white, but have the drop shadow be the color on here. So that would get you a little bit of color in here, which I think would be helpful. You're covering, I would maybe also get it off the figure here a little bit so we can see a little bit more of what's going on with it. Um, the thing that's really bugging me though is why is his head sliced like that?
Well, that's just how it was, and I think I had it in like just a certain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can always give it a try. with the wonder of AI, let's see if we can fill them in here.
Is that how the character is designed? Is it any more angular like that?
Yeah, before he was just like cropped in a circle.
Okay.
So I was trying out just like cropping him out with a pencil.
So he's supposed to have that angle at his
Yeah.
head? Okay.
Oh, he's supposed to have this angle?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I was gonna see if we could give him more of a head over there, but yeah, that just looked a little weird to me. Let's see. But who am I to judge if that's how he is? That's how he is. Um, Comments? Anyone else? What do you think? I do think, I mean, I love doing infographics where you take, information and kind of create interesting ways to show it. The one question I have is this the price of games going up?
yeah.
You know, if you're like people aren't buying games and then you're showing this, it might, imply that no, sales are going up. I think all you have to do on here is maybe put a red dollar sign on it that would indicate you're talking about price and not purchasing on here. But otherwise, I think it turned out well. I do think it's worth spending a little time getting this a little bit easier to read. And I'll just show you. It's oftentimes easier to show you here. And once again, they have changed everything. Modify page, organize page. I am looking for, okay, I can't find it right now. There, that is what I'm looking for. Sorry. I'll show you this. And that should, so what I'm going to do is convert your image to black and white just to show you on that headline why it's a little problematic. Um, and so when I convert this to black and white, and sometimes this is a good idea to do just to kind of check your colors and your values on everything. See what happens up here? The color you used for aren't buying is so close to the background that it just vanishes. So I think I would, um, you don't have to necessarily do white. What you could do is maybe pick up a lighter color from one of your images, but you just need to get that contrast in there. But otherwise, good work. Let's give Mark a hand here. Uh, Augustino, yours was pretty much done when we saw it, right?
Changes, I just need to put in those crop marks.
Okay. I would raise these quote marks up a little bit. Maybe they kind of, I wouldn't line them up with a period, but I would get them a little bit closer to the text on here. But that's really, and I would do that on all your quotes when they're flying so far away. I would get them a little closer.
Sure.
The highest praise I can give you guys is that it looks like a professional job, and this definitely does. So, yeah, just a few little minor things on there and put the print marks on there. And I think you'll be good to go. So really great. Let's give Augustina a hand. And let's see, Juliana. Has this changed at all since we saw it? Yeah, double check it. The print marks aren't showing up on here. So, um, yeah, and you don't have to do it for me, but I would maybe soften your, here's the thing with shadows is, ugh, today is just not my day. Oh, okay. The reason I always suggest maybe taking a drawing class to learn light and shadow, when something casts a shadow, it will be really sharp like this, the closer you are to the object, and then as you get a little further away, it should soften a little bit. So, and again, that just comes with kind of experience. And like I said, if you it's worth your while to take a drawing class just to understand light and shadow because we do get called on to oftentimes Frankenstein things together to create a scene. You'll be given shots of models and a background, and it's your job to insert them and make it look realistic. So if that's a really great skill to be able to kind of hone here. But otherwise, the whole layout and design of this, I told you how much I liked it, and I think you did a really great job. Just make sure I have the right file and with the crop marks on it. All right, let's give Juliana a hand here. And Karis, I have you. Let's see what you have.
Yeah, it's from the past problem, which is that I couldn't have access to Adobe Illustrator on my account because someone for some reason have locked the account exclusively to someone else's, so I couldn't have my account logged in.
Okay. Well, I made comments on this last week, so just not to take everyone else's time up here, but when you get access, if you want to review the video of that work in progress crit from last week and make the changes we discussed. Again, I'm not grading this until Friday, so get stuff to me. I always say Thursday at midnight. Realistically, I'll probably be grading around 9 a.m. So even if you get it to me a little later, that's fine. But uh, uh, yeah, just refer to that because there are things with the images we talked about and the quality of the image on here. I will show you one thing too, just only because I see it here. Um, when I worked at any agency, and we review a lot of portfolios, people either applying for a specific job or uh, they want to get noticed by the agency when an opening comes up. So when you look at a lot of portfolios, um, there's a lot of red flags we would look for just to see, to save time. A lot of the red flags actually relate to how people um, deal with type. And I think we talked about this earlier in the semester, but one real fast way we could look at someone's portfolio. Who remembers what it's called when you have one word on the last line of your sentence? I'm sorry? A floater? No, it's called an orphan. All right. So what we usually say is you don't want to just have one word on this line. What you should do is look over your type, and if you see you have orphans, all you really have to do is kick another word down. Don't ask me, I don't make the rules. One is bad, two is okay on here. So you have one here, and there's also one over here too. If you're setting type flush left or flush right or even centered, it's not a problem to just kick one more line down there, or one more word down there. It does become a little problematic if you set your type in justified type. So there's some ways that you can kind of manipulate that and get rid of it. But like I said, if I'm flipping through a portfolio and I either see the two big ones for me were orphans, but more importantly, if any of the type was um, squashed or stretched or something. And those were the two, or even on this case, like photos, when you see photos that have been stretched. And we talked about that last week. So it's definitely worth your time if you're putting a portfolio together to kind of make sure you don't have any obvious mistakes in there that might give someone a reason to flag your portfolio. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, can't, I can't do, do anything about using this on someone else's account because I feel that's considered, that's, that's
Okay.
considered.
I'll come over and help you with that. Is it logged into someone else's account?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's-
Yeah, we ran into that last week, so I'll show you how you can quit out of it and open your own account. Any other questions or comments? This is the last one I had. Obviously, there's more of you than, yeah. Okay, let me just go to, first of all, actually, let me, I'll fix it. I try and catch it when Canvas gives everyone an F. And I think I missed it on this assignment or one of these assignments. I'll check on it. But let's see. And there it is. All right. So this U, okay. Did I miss anyone else while I'm in here? Oh, it did give everyone an F. I'll fix that. I'm sorry about that. Um, all right. So I told you how much I liked this last week. Did you make any changes to it?
Talked about adding more, fallout. And then the last page as well, I made it a green color, the album.
All right, so this, I think tightening the letting on there really helps that. I think you did a great job. You know, this is the type of thing, if I was flipping through a magazine or if I was scrolling on a website and this came up, I would definitely be like, what is this about? I want to read it. So I think you really, as far as grabbing someone's attention on here, this is great. This is really nice that you put the quote in here. Um, I would probably take your quote and center it since you have this logo or this mark back here that's a very symmetrical mark. I think it would make more sense to have the quote centered on there. But other than that, this looks great. And then the last spread, and we didn't see this, or did we see this last time?
On the left page, it still has that big block of text.
Yeah, you know, it does look like something's missing there, just the way it's put together. The other thing too, there's nothing wrong with negative space as long as it looks like you designed it that way. So, but the way it is now, it definitely does look like a hole because we don't, if you had other breaks in here, like other, blocks of negative space, then it would make sense that it was a design decision. But this is the only time you did that, so it looks a little off. I would just put another photo in there. Or what you can do is maybe make one of these photos a little bit bigger. Um, that could be an option too. But no, this looks great. And for anyone who did second, in your case, third spreads on here, I'll definitely give you extra credit on it when I grade it. But this looks fantastic.
So, pages that are, like a page for, or a spread for each song on the album.
So, and we actually, if you take publication design, we're actually everyone's designing their own magazine and we're going to actually print it and bind it over in print technology. So maybe I'll see you next semester for publication design because that would be great to be able to physically. We'll see. Ben Kuat over in printing technology is a real friend to the graphic design program. He will usually print anything for us, and he would probably print this for you. It's just the last couple weeks of the semester. He actually prints the college magazine, so he's got a week to print 1,000 magazines, and gets a little crazy. So if I can, we'll see if we can do this. The only thing though, if you want to make this a real magazine, the number of pages has to be a multiple of 4, because each sheet of paper is 4 pages. So if you do this page is page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you would have to have 2 more pages to make it 8 to actually make a magazine. But if you can do that, I'd be happy to get it printed for you. All right. Anyone else I'm missing on here? All right. Oh, you turned it into, I thought I saw when I went by that there was something there. Let's see. All right. Yeah, when I went by your name, I thought I saw something. So let's talk about um so what was that again? Around the circle? I'll show you. Oh, you want it to go in a circle? Okay, that's super easy to do. I'll show you how to do that. So why don't you, if you have it with you, pull it up on screen and I'll show you how to do it. Um, so you're talking about SZA. Did you write this? All right. So the image back here, what is?
It's.
Okay. And there she is with it. All right, very cool. Part of me thinks kind of this image of her should be, as you lead into it, it almost seems like you want to start with this and then go into that. Um, just because, especially when you're talking about an artist, um, if you can immediately, when you see the article, kind of connect the two. So I might just make this um, your intro into it, and then maybe put a little bit of the magazine copy in here so that when you turn the page, then you get to this. But otherwise, this looks good. Just a few little type things. You really want to maybe stay away from the gutter here. You have the space that I would probably break this maybe in two lines, do SZA's control, the soundtrack of, and then on line two, vulnerability and self-discovery. And you have the space to make it a little bit bigger on here. Um, and then I'll show you how to wrap the type on here. It's super easy. All right. Yeah, like I said, I'm not grading this till Friday. If you want to spend a little bit more time on it, I think it's worth doing on here, but it's looking good. So really nicely done. All right. Let's give Armistice a hand here. All right. Anyone else? All right. So good work, everybody. You have about an hour left in class here. If you haven't, if you want to, make some tweaks, especially putting the printer marks on your uh, magazine spread and resubmit it, do that. If you haven't done the research and inspiration for your poster, you have time to do that as well. And then, like I said, with the thumbnails, even though it's listed as being due on Thursday, I did that because next week is Thanksgiving. I think I'm probably going to lose everyone's attention next week. All right. Good work, everyone. Thank you.